I came to get you. Bless me with us.
Ms. Green, if you can hear me, we're going to get started now.
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is cause number 2021-11833. In the interest of Braylon Green, all parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Lori Green, the mother of Braylon Green.
All right. And representing the state of Texas,
Luis Regla.
court will note that Keith Harrison Jr. is the non-custodial parent, that Mr. Harrison was personally served on May 14th, 2021 at 1 p.m. at 300 West Monroe Street in Hardin County Jail of Koontz, Hardin County, Texas. He has not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Mr. Regla?
That is correct, Judge.
We'll proceed by default.
Thank you, Judge. I'll call the mother as a witness.
Okay.
If you could say your name for me one more time, please.
Lori Green.
In fact, you and the father in this case, Mr. Harrison, have a child together, Braylon, correct?
Yes, sir.
You remember back when Braylon was born, you and Mr. Harrison signed the paperwork admitting that he really is the biological father of Braylon. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
And back when he was initially served in this case, he used to be in jail, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he has since then been released, and we know he's back at work at BOMAC Contractors, correct?
Yes, sir.
Back when the initial case came up, when he was arrested, y'all were having a dispute about him giving your son back because y'all didn't have a schedule of visits back then. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been able to work out that problem and are now asking for a standard schedule of visits going forward.
Yes.
And requesting a sole managing conservatorship be granted, given that you've basically been making decisions how to raise Braylon without Mr. Harrison's help up until today's court date. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you and the father have been separated since 2019, and you've been raising Braylon on your own since March of 2019. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Braylon has been on.
Yes.
Okay, and we've actually been able to verify through our standard processes and Mr. Harrison's own admissions to you that he is working at BOMAC Contractors as of February of this year.
Yes, sir.
Worked there in the past, but he's been on and off. But we now know that he is back at work at BOMAC, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we've been able to verify he's making at least $19 an hour. Although I suspect he's gotten a raise, we don't have proof of raise. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at $19 an hour, 40 hours a week, we also suspect he works overtime. We don't have any proof of overtime at this point.
No, sir.
Okay, so we've been able to verify 40 hours a week at $19 an hour, and that he has children as of today on child support orders in other court cases. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And although he has 4 other children, open court cases, no court orders for the other 4 children are put in place right now. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So for now, we're gonna request the court to grant guideline child support based on 1 child with you and 4 other children on child support orders against Mr. Harrison. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
And that guideline child support based on that percentage, 13.6% of the guideline support, would be $371 to you beginning April 1st.
Yes, sir.
And the court should grant a monthly payment of $66 a month, also beginning April 1st.
Yes, sir.
From March of 2019 through his court date, though, since he didn't average more than minimum wage would be, we're requesting retroactive child support
Say that on.
Yes,
at
sir.
$5,580 payable at $78 a month.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I believe there's a typo on page 18 that I'll correct as far as the begin date for the retroactive support. I'll
Right.
March of 2019 and resend it, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the court should grant a monthly payment of $78 a month, beginning April 1st, back the $5,580. Would you agree with that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, you're not requesting that the court keep your address or phone number confidential since you have issues and he's known your address and phone number and you're fine with that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you believe these orders are in the best interest of Braylon?
Yes, sir.
And are you asking the court to grant this default against Mr. Harrison?
Yes, sir.
Judge, apart from that correction I'll make to the start date on the retroactive support, I'd ask the court to grant the order, and I'll make that correction, Judge.
All right, the court will grant the order as to be amended. Thank you.
Okay. And Ms. Green, if you'll hang out for just a second, I'll need to resend you an email because I made a typo